Hey film fans, welcome to CINEPRO, your ultimate hub for all movie recaps. From heartwarming classics to the latest blockbusters, the story begins in Bertha, Western Australia in 1987. High school girls were playing volleyball, and the scene moves in slow motion. The couple, John White and Maggie Maloney, appear in their car watching the girls playing volleyball, waiting for any girl to walk alone. They notice a girl walking alone down the street, so they approach her kindly, telling her they want to help her, saying it's too hot outside and she might get sunstroke. The girl asks Maggie, "Are you sure?" Maggie responds, "Of course, come on, we'll give you a ride." Meanwhile, another girl from the volleyball players, named Vic White, goes to her boyfriend, Jason. They joke around with encrypted messages, taking the first letter of each sentence to form a message. Vic loves writing articles for her high school, and Jason helps her with an article she's working on. She tells him to wish his father a happy birthday, and then she leaves. Returning to the couple, we see them closing their windows with wooden planks. The girl who got into their car is tied up, showing signs of torture. Maggie is preparing food as usual, with her dog nearby, while John watches cartoons. Switching back to Vic, she's in school, and the teacher discusses the cases of missing girls. After class, the teacher talks to her, telling her not to be upset about her parents' divorce, sharing that the same thing happened to her when she was 11. When Vic goes home, she finds her father has brought her a dog, which makes her very happy. Returning to the couple, John is shaving when Maggie enters, holding a tissue with blood on it. John goes to the woods and digs a hole, presumably to bury the kidnapped girl. A missing poster of the girl is shown. Meanwhile, Vic and her father visit her mother. It's clear that her parents are not on good terms. At her mother's house, Vic plays with her food, feeling upset. Her mother tries to cheer her up, saying she thought Vic liked pasta. Vic doesn't respond. Her mother suggests watching a movie together, but Vic says she's going to a party. Her mother reminds her that she spends 2 days with her and the rest of the week with her father, so she should ask for her permission. Vic says her father gave her taxi money. After dinner, Vic shows her mother an article she wrote. Her mother notices the writing style is not Vic's and realizes Jason helped her. She questions how Vic plans to publish it while relying on Jason. Upset, Vic goes to her room, tears up a picture of her mother, puts on makeup, and sneaks out through the window. As she walks, a car with some boys passes by, laughing at her and throwing a bottle that shatters on the ground. She feels scared by the noises of neighbors and continues walking until John and Maggie's car appears. Vic asks them for directions to the highway. They tell her it's far and offer her a ride. Seeing the boys' car returning, Vic decides to trust Maggie and gets into their car. John and Maggie claim they forgot something and return to their house with Vic. When John takes too long inside, Maggie reassures Vic and invites her in for a drink while they wait. Vic drinks the juice, not knowing it contains a sedative. As she starts feeling dizzy and realizes something is wrong, she tries to run to the door, but it's too late. John and Maggie tie her up as she screams. They celebrate while loud music drowns out her cries, and the wooden planks on the windows prevent anyone from hearing. The scene shifts to show John and Maggie living in a quiet, upscale neighborhood to avoid suspicion. Vic's mother, painting the house, calls out to her daughter but gets no response. When she checks Vic's room, she finds it empty. Back at John and Maggie's house, Maggie prepares food for John while he looks through an album containing Vic's belongings and hides it in a drawer. When Maggie goes to check on Vic, she finds that fear has caused her to soil herself. Even their dog has made a mess on the carpet. John yells at the dog, telling Maggie to control it. Maggie, feeling unhappy with her life, gives Vic some water and unties one of her hands to change the mattress. When Vic tries to free her other hand, Maggie warns her not to try anything. Vic notices a child's toy and realizes there are no children in the house. She asks Maggie about this, but Maggie changes the subject, asking when Vic's parents got married. Maggie picks up a knife, and Vic fears she will kill her. Instead, Maggie takes her to the bathroom to clean up. Through the bathroom window, Vic sees a plane flying overhead. Meanwhile, John is confronted by people demanding money from him. They mock him as they leave, and John collects his discarded cigarette from the ground. Back at the house, Maggie tells Vic to write a letter to her parents, saying she met someone and is traveling. Saying she met someone and is traveling with him. She thinks of writing a ransom, and Maggie tells her, "Yes, you are the ransom." Vicky cries and looks around her, so she flashes the address of the place, so she tells her, "Can I write it to my beloved?" Maggie, she says to her, "Where were you yesterday in you?" She said at her mother, she continued and said, "Write that you love your mother and that you are happy that she knew how to live alone and that you want to do the same to Vicky." She writes a letter and puts the address of the place in her way of coded messages. My brain took the letter, and when she took it to Vicky's room, she asked her to go into the bathroom. Before she entered the bathroom, John takes Vic to the bathroom to torture her, while Maggie, under the influence of drugs, loses confidence in herself. She bangs on the door, but eventually joins John in torturing Vic. Vic manages to open the bathroom window and climb out, but the dog starts barking. She hides in the bathtub, and John and Maggie think she has escaped, rushing outside to look for her. Vic seizes the opportunity to grab a knife, but as she tries to escape, John catches her. She screams as Maggie helps him tie her up again. A neighbor hears the commotion and knocks on their door. John tells Maggie to answer it. She explains to the neighbor that she drank too much, which is why she was yelling. The neighbor remarks that it's still morning. The neighbor tells them, "But you're just screaming, and the one who screams is the one who needs help. I wish we could improve and not be like this." Maggie insults him and says, "It is not your business." The neighbor mocks her, saying, "That's why your kids didn't come back to you." Maggie pushes him and yells at him. The neighbor insults her husband to provoke him. Maggie grabs scissors and the neighbor leaves. Maggie returns, and they restrain her with chains. John and Maggie calm down. Afterward, Maggie apologizes to him. John tells her he's going to bed and will take his headache pills. Maggie calms down, and later Mary apologizes to him. John tells her he's going to bed and taking his headache pills. Mary tells him, "I love you." She's afraid that Vic might take him away from her, but John responds with a strange question. He asks her, "How would you feel if you never saw me again?" Mary stays silent. John continues, "That's exactly what will happen if Vic ran away and jumped out the window." After that, Mary takes all of Vic's belongings to throw them away. She stops by her mother's house and leaves a letter. Her father and mother are at the police station. The police tell them, every day runaways leave their families, and it's normal. And they confirm they won't look for Vic, especially after learning the parents are separated. The police tell them not to worry, as these things usually resolve themselves without needing police involvement. They're told they're not in New York, and that girls running away is a common story, just like their daughters. The police advise them to relax at home and not overthink it. They'll distribute missing person flyers, but it seems the police won't help much. The parents leave, frustrated with what they heard. When the mother gets home, she searches through Vic's belongings for anything that might lead her to her. She finds a torn photo. The father tells her he found a letter in the mailbox. When the mother reads the letter, she says its phrasing is illogical and sentences are misplaced. The father suggests, maybe she wanted to make you feel guilty. Here, the parents argue again, blaming each other for Vic running away. The mother insists she didn't do anything to make her leave. The father asks, what if we lived together again for her sake? The mother refuses. The father takes the letter and says, now I understand why Vic hates this place. Vic's mother cries. We return to John, who's playing music. Maggie is at the supermarket and sees a child, reminding her of her own children. John was cheating on Maggie with Vic, and Vic lashed out at him. Maggie talks on the phone with her child, but they don't understand each other. Maggie goes to pick up a letter and is on her way back. John puts everything back in place before Maggie discovers he's cheating on her. Maggie catches a glimpse of him passing by, and when she sees Vic, she realizes he's been cheating on her. When Maggie confronts John, she finds him pretending to be asleep. Maggie goes outside to smoke a cigarette, thinking. Vic and John wait for her reaction, but Maggie lets it go, gets a photo album, and reminisces about her children. She goes to Vic and unties her hands. Vic thinks she's being freed to leave, but Maggie unties her to talk to her. Vic tries to provoke her, saying John doesn't love her and replaced her children with the dog. Vic begs Maggie to free her. After hearing this, Maggie takes Vic's makeup and uses it herself to make John love her again. Vic listens through the Vic listens through the wall to hear them. Maggie tells John, if you love me, kill her today. John refuses. Maggie cries, saying, if you chooses her, I will kill myself, and holds a knife to her throat. John speaks calmly, as if he doesn't care, and tells her, do it. He yells, what are you waiting for? Do it. Maggie accuses him of lying, saying he'll keep lying until the end of his life. John tells her she's imagining things and suggests she check the washing machine if she doesn't believe him. Maggie talks about how he abandoned them. John insists he loves her and she knows it. Maggie calls him a liar. John remains calm, while Vic cries. When Maggie checks the washing machine and finds the clothes, John sits calmly on a chair, saying, see how innocent I am? John flatters her, saying she's as beautiful as the first time they met. He recalls seeing bruises on her and being told they were from Thomas, so he went and wrecked his car. They thought they were rulers of the road. John continues, saying he did everything he could that day because he mentions keeping her away from her father and insults her father for being fat. Maggie remembers and apologizes, saying everything was a mess in her head. Maggie admits Vic told her he's exploiting her and replaced her child with the dog Lulu. She says she doesn't know why she believed her. John gets up, brings Maggie close, and she pleads, "You can't get rid of her." John tells her, "On Monday." Maggie responds, "I know." She suggests getting another one, but begs him to spare her. John says their luck will decrease if they change things. John suggests they go show her who's in charge. Maggie hesitates. John urges her, "Let's go. We brought her for this in the first place. We have to use her together like we always do." Maggie asks if he thinks she's better than them because she's younger. John reassures her she's the best woman in the world, and no one matches her beauty. Maggie and John go inside, and Vic screams. A couple drives by in a car. John returns with the dog, and Maggie is happy, living a joyful life again. Maggie wears Vic's clothes. John is in the forest with the axe. Maggie is happy and dancing. Vic is still alive. John finds the perfect spot to bury her and starts digging the grave. Then Maggie turns on the light on Vicky, and it appears that she was suffering until she tells her that she heard that Vicky was hiding at night. She tells her that she read her diaries and that her mother did not allow her to go out and that she escaped through the window. Then she laughs and tells her that what is funny about the matter is that if you had listened to them, you would not have been here now, and Vicky is crying. My brain tells her that she is definitely not looking for you. Megab appears while she is protecting Vicky in the bathroom, and Vic's mother appears while she is holding her daughter's clothes and is upset and remembers her daughter's lover. So she calls him and goes to him with her daughter's father and gives him the paper. Jason decodes the message and finally gets the address from it, 8 Malcolm Street. She tells him that it is close. From her house, after that, Vicky appears after she is showered with a chain of hands, and she is submissive. My brain is checking on her. And after John comes, he finds the dog's excrement again, and he gets angry and yells at the dog, and Maggie doesn't talk to her, and she says to her, "I hope you're ready for the second stage." And you hear Johnny screaming outside, telling the dog to get outside, and the dog goes inside. So John is here, running after him and sitting, cursing him, and she saw John hits the dog and continues to hit the dog with his other leg until the dog is dead. Vicky hear the sound of an airplane, so you guess that there is an airport next to them, and Maggie crying, and John sits and calms down. Then he puts the dog in a bag in the stroller bag. Maggie is upset with John. John comes to her and sits next to her and tells her, "I was supposed to hear you. I wasn't on my nature since this girl came here." John continues and say, "You know that everything has a positive side," and he says that the dog can be fierce with the children. He continues and says that the time has come when we are supposed to focus on how to return our son to us, so that she does not hold his hand. John says to her, "Let her write her last letter." The mother appears as she speaks and says that it is yet from here, and the officer tells her Matthews asked her to come on Monday. The officer sees the letter and says to her, "I'm sorry, I'm finishing work in 4, and he calls him, asking how things are going after 3 hours. The father gets angry at him, asking why he didn't follow procedures. The officer refuses. Meanwhile, Maggie wakes Vic and walks her. At the same time, Vic's family is in a car heading to the location. Maggie sits Vic on a chair. Vic sees blood on the floor where the dog was killed. They let her to write one last message to her, and that's it. Maggie tells her to write a week from today. You will say that you are an Adlite and you work there and you have a house and you are comfortable there. Tell your mother that you love her. She asks her to hold the pen. Vicky holds it, and her mother is still on the way, and they arrived. Vicky finished writing. Maggie orders her to take a large amount of pills. She takes the pills and puts one in her mouth and drinks it and the other after her. Her mother goes down and runs to one of the houses and knocks. My head is banging. She puts the knife to her neck if she speaks and also threatens her. The mother knocks on other doors. A man asks John if he has the money now or not. John says yes, but doesn't have it with him. The man yells at him, demanding the money. The mother continues knocking on random houses, calling out for her. The man outside grows suspicious. John gathers money from support letters in his box and keeps searching for cash. And the mother is looking, and the neighbors are surprised and come out to see that she hears her mother's voice, so she tries. But Megan silences her, and she is afraid. But she is crying and losing hope. And Vicky is crying because she hears her mother calling for her. But Vicky is unable to answer. Megan calls again and says she is here, but there is no answer. Megan sits Vicky and tells her to take the pills. Vicky says to her, You think this will change anything. So she tells her to take the pills, and Vicky tells her to stab her with the knife that you are threatening me with, to take the pills that will kill her if she wants to kill her. John calls her and he chokes her, but Megan is thinking, and then she stabs him in the back, and when he stands up, she continues stabbing him. And John is crying, and you stab him once until he dies. And you get out of the bathroom window, and her mother gets in the car, and she goes to her, and she passes in front of her, and Megan doesn't do anything to her. And John, of course, ends up dying after all of this. And you walk in the street, and her mother sees her while she is driving, and she gets out of the car, and her father and her lover see her, and her mother runs to her and hugs her. And here our movie ends today. I hope you like the movie, and please don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you get all the new videos. Bye.